Hi there, welcome to the next installment of my detailed scraproom tour. In this video I'm going to be covering this section of my scraproom, which is not the most scrapping related section of my craft room, so I'm not sure how many of you will be interested in this one, but just in the interest of being thorough, I thought I would go ahead and share it, and if you want to skip this one, go ahead. It's not all that, there's a little bit of scrap stuff in it, but it's mostly like sewing and jewelry and that sort of doll stuff. But I'm going to show you anyways. If you want to see my overall scraproom tour, which covers this entire room in less detail, so it's easier to look at if you don't like an overly detailed video, I'm linking it in the information section for this video. And if you would like to see the details of some of this very dense scrapbooking related sections, the videos will be linked for those. The videos for those will be linked down below as well. So this is a wall-mounted kind of like floating shelf that I have. There's two of them, and they are, I think they're 12 inches deep, and I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 feet long. So I'm going to show you what's on those first. Up here I have this basket. I think it came from Target. We don't have a Target anymore in Canada, but in it I keep all of my Stampin' Up! Scraps, because when I'm doing Stampin' Up! Cards, you have the ink and the ribbon and the paper all coordinate perfectly with each other, so I like to hang on to my scraps. I don't usually keep cardstock scrap, but for Stampin' Up! I do, so I just keep it up there, out of the way, and easy to reach when I do need it. That's an empty card storage box that doesn't really work for me, so I'm thinking about what else I might want to store in it, and I'm just keeping it there for now. This is a basket of, whoa, it's heavy! Yikes, I almost dropped that everywhere. These are a basket of mostly Adirondack inks. I have a set of 12. They're really highly pigmented ink mists, sprayable like mist inks. Whew. Whatever they are. They are really fun to use on mixed media projects because they're just such vibrant colors. And then I also have some Perfect Pearls stuff from when I first started scrapbooking. I was into kind of distressed looks and those sorts of media-ish type of stuff. Up here I have some decorative stuff, and you'll notice that my ceiling is open here. We have to like make a bulkhead to cover some of these pipes and ductwork and stuff, so we haven't finished that. I just wanted to get moved in, so we just left it, and someday we'll go back and fix it, which means is code in our house for never ever ever. That's what someday means around here. This is mostly just decorative stuff, and it's sort of like, it's my inspiration because this is all stuff that people from my YouTube channel have sent me. Cards, if anybody has sent me a card, it always goes up here for at least a little while on this Umbra photo display unit thing. Actually, usually I keep it down around my work surface for a while, and then I put it up here, and then when it's been up there for a while, it usually goes into one of these pouches, and I have another pouch filled with handmade cards that people sent me, and I go through it every once in a while. And at Christmas time, I try to take out all the Christmas ones and put those out, and so anyhow, and there's I kind of got a little bit behind on keeping on top of it, so I've got like some cards here that, look at this, isn't that cute? It's like a little shaker card. Isn't that sweet? You mean the world to me. That's from Eliana, who makes the Mr. Misty. Not the Mr. Misty. The Misty. The most incredible stamp tool ever. Anyhow, I'm a little bit behind on keeping up with getting my cards up there, but if you sent me a card, I love your card. I always usually send a personal note that says thank you, but I love, love, love getting cards, especially because I don't make cards, so I just love to get them. So thank you, and I love them and keep them forever and ever. They will never, ever, ever be thrown out, ever, in my whole life. I'm pretty sure that I showed this punch area in my last video. If I didn't have room for it in my last video, I will insert it right here, but if not, let's move on. So I have these two bag and bags. I have a review for the bag and bag on my channel, so I'll link that in the information section below. So here's my first bag and bag. It just holds all of my alphabet stamps, including this Stampin' Up! Set, and I think this is Tim Holtz, or I don't know who makes those. Some of them I've removed from my packaging, but I have some Mama Elephant ones. This is a Scraptastic set. These are these are Stepping Stone, and these are Kelly Perky. So all of my alphabet stamps are right here, except for some of the more recent Scraptastic ones are not. Then my second bag and bag, which has this cute little dangly thing that I made at a crop, has all of my planner stamps and a few extra planner things. It could technically go in my planner drawer, but it fits in that bag, and so I just leave it there. Then I have all of my inspiration books, and then I have a couple of little plastic storage drawer things that hold some sewing supplies, like Velcro and zippers and buttons, and then there's trim in there, and then there's different like sewing machine accessories and presser feet. I probably don't need that whole thing. Most of it is empty, but I have it. So up here I have, this is a box of sketches. I made this box when I first started scrapbooking. This is using a shoe box for baby shoes. And I printed up a whole bunch of these page maps sketches when I first started scrapbooking, and I was needing lots of inspiration in the form of sketches. I used these, I didn't have a tab punch at that point, so I just punched some circles and glued them onto the cards. Pretty fancy file folders. And then this was my favorite font at the time. It's a black foam thicker. I was into black foam thickers even right from the beginning of my scrapbooking. And then here I have some sari ribbon that I use for various sewing projects. And now over here I have my doll prop area, my doll photography area. Right now it has a partial set up, and I do show this in quite a bit of detail in my overall Scraproom overall tour. So I'm not going to talk too much about it right now, but what I will do is I'll link the video if you're really interested in this. I know it's probably not interesting for most scrapbookers, but I do have a video on my pull-up channel that shows how I put together a doll set, and so I'll show you that. I'll link it in the information section below. In the Jetmax beside it, I have general sewing stuff. This is lamination pockets and I think labels and that sort of thing. This is a sewing book. In here, this is a messy drawer of sewing stuff. It has safety pins in this and some like instruction booklets for some of my sewing machines and a bunch of embroidery floss and random stuff. Then in here I have, this is jewelry stuff. So I have my beads for making jewelry, and yeah, that's it. This is my jewelry tools in this art bin container right there. And then this is a doll photography backdrop and some doll photography flooring. This is my Project Life album. This is my regular album. And then this is paper that I keep for protecting my table surface when I use certain things. Then down there, these are albums that hold page protectors that have doll clothing patterns in it, and just different patterns for different sewing projects. I do mostly American Girl clothes and pull-up clothes. I keep some tiles from my kitchen floor right there that I sometimes use for a doll photo prop. In here I have doll props, a bunch of doll stands, and some little cushions and toys and stuff. In here I have some bookshelves that are actually, they are tea boxes that were on sale at the superstore for $3 each, so I bought them. More doll props, plants and curtains and stuff. And then this is stuff that I might use for doll, like making things. And so it's kind of supplies that I might use. Like this is a single shoe that I have, and so I might use the buckle off of it for something, that sort of thing. I do have Velcro dots on my wall here. that hold these pieces of foam up, and then the back side has a different kind of wallpaper on it. So, and then this rod here is where I drape fabric for backdrops for dolls, for doll photography, and then, or product photography. Sometimes I'll take a picture of a card or something there too. And then I have these 2 lights that have vellum taped to them to soften them. So that's that area. Then over here we have my dolls. So I'll move my umbrella out of the way. This is just for taking photos. So down here I have like clear boxes and stuff that I use sometimes for propping up my dolls. I have doll bodies in here. I have more doll bodies, and because I customize dolls, so I usually replace their bodies with better bodies. These are the better bodies that I replace them with, and so I have a bunch of extra bodies because of that. And then this is all sandpaper. You have to use a special kind of sandpaper and magic erasers. In here I have Rement, and in here I have doll shoes, and in here I have doll props that I've made and might need to use again. In here I have 2 wigs because I have 2 dolls that I do like a comic book story for them, and it's sort of like my it's like a creative outlet where I get to do some writing and some photography and put it all together, and also like making stuff because I usually make all the props and stuff. So it kind of like gives me a chance to put together a whole bunch of different hobbies that I have all into one thing. So I have a pic fic, which is just like fiction that's using pictures of your dolls. And so I had 2 of the characters have flashbacks, and so they need their wigs from before. So whenever they're in their flashbacks, I have to change their wigs to their old wigs. And in here I have a whole drawer that's filled with wigs that I either, like, I usually replace the wigs, so a lot of these are the wigs that came with the dolls, or sometimes I just, like, there's a deal where you buy like 3 wigs for the price of 1 or 2 wigs, and so sometimes I end up with more wigs than I need for that reason, and I do change them sometimes. And then this is all supplies for making the eyes of dolls, or for changing the eyes of the dolls. And then these are all the tools that I need to use when I'm customizing, either sanding down or repainting them. And then this is just kind of random stuff. I don't know what it is. This is a basket that I just keep out for when I'm putting away things quickly and don't have time to put them in the real spots. They go here. I also always keep extra hands out, so that because they come with different hands for different poses. Then these are my dolls. If you're interested in seeing my doll collection, I do have a doll collection video that goes through all of these dolls and what they're all about and how I've customized them. So you can have a look at that. I'll link it in the information section below. So I know a lot of you are not interested in that. Then I keep their clothes in these bins up here, mostly Barbie clothes, mostly stuff that my kids already had, or stuff that I bought in a big giant lot of stuff. And then this is all furniture mostly furniture that I've made, a few things that I've just kind of picked up at flea markets and stuff like that. Then we have the pegboard, which is my kids' pegboard. So I do keep my iron. I would never put it hot there. It's a travel iron, so it's not very heavy. If it were to fall, it won't hurt anybody, I don't think. And I never put it hot there because it's not really safe. But I do keep it there, and it's not plugged in. And then I keep my cutters and stuff that I need to find for sewing right there. And then the rest of this is all kids stuff. La la la. So, and then we have like a big pile of kids craft kits, and then this is all like just kids craft supplies in these bins. I went through that in my overall video, and I'm not going to show you all the details of it. I keep bins with Play-Doh down there. Sometimes they bring the Play-Doh upstairs, so I like to keep it portable. And then there's painting in those 2 drawers, and then that is just tall stuff that doesn't fit anywhere. So I do have this curtain that I made for this table. It just kind of makes it look a little bit nicer to not see all the stuff that's stored under there. So I just have that there, and all that I did was I just put a seam in this and attached it with Velcro, and then I hot glued the Velcro. I sewed Velcro onto it, then I hot glued Velcro onto this table, and it just stays like that. And I didn't have enough. I really wanted to just use that fabric, but it wasn't wide enough, so I just put a strip of that other fabric down the bottom. I keep my Cameo right there. It's plugged in and ready to go all the time. I have a baby monitor for sometimes when I'm alone and the kids are upstairs sleeping. Sometimes I come down here and I scrapbook super early, so I want to just keep an ear out for them. And I do have a TV and a Blu-ray player and an Apple TV down here for entertainment purposes. So that's the very last section of my scrap room. So I hope that you enjoyed this series of really, really detailed look at my scrap room. Leave me a comment if you've got anything to say. If you have any ideas or suggestions for different ways that people can store things, that would be great. It helps me and it also helps anybody else who watches this video. So thanks a lot, everyone, and have a really great scrappy week.